Hey guys, JT here with some of my first run thoughts on the 2019 version 3 Arrma Outcast. And I'll tell you guys real quick because I know I saw some of the comments about arguing with it was version 3 or version 4 or whatever. But the reason why this is a version 3, because you guys have to remember when the first 8 scale line of Arrma cars came out, the crate and all that, the Outcast was not released. And right around the time they came out with their version 2 of their 8 scale line, the Outcast was released. And the Outcast actually did so well because it had a lot of updated components and stuff. By the time they went to version 3 on like the Kraton and stuff, the Outcast was going to version 2. And it seemed kind of like the Outcast was a pilot for some modifications they had made to their Kraton, which was the version 3 model and stuff. They updated the diff cases and changed out the battery case and stuff like that. So go and behold, Arrma did something that I think they would be able to do, was make a good, durable stunt truck even more durable, more fun and stuff, and actually more stable as well, which what we have here, the version 3 of the Arrma Outcast. So you guys know that they've done some differences on this, or some modifications to it, to make the truck a lot more sturdy, and I'll go through those in just a minute. But one of the major differences for me with driving the truck was that center chassis brace, and I'll show that to you guys in just a minute as well. That just seemed to make the truck more stable, especially when you were doing speed runs. You guys can see some of my first out-of-the-box stock runs with this truck, and as I was doing the speed runs, it kind of wasn't wobbling all over the place, especially when it did a wheelie, so it did help it out a lot. And it does help it with handling as well. So that was a major improvement. And then, of course, they made little small improvements over the truck as well. Not just the chassis brace, but we'll go ahead and take this off, and I'll get this zoomed in just a second. All right. So not just this chassis brace, but they also did an adjustable motor mount, which is basically 2 screws here, and then you can slide this over, and you can get in there and change your pinion gear out. And at some point in time, I'll do a video on that, but it's not really difficult to do. You're just basically going in and removing those 2 screws, or loosening them up. You don't have to remove them completely. And then you can actually get in there and change your pinion gear out and put a different size pinion gear and stuff in it. Now, you may have to bend this down just a little bit to be able to get in there and get that grub screw, because you kind of can't get at an angle like this, but it still makes it a lot easier than taking apart with the previous Outcast and some of the previous versions. You'd have to take apart this whole center diff part, the screws underneath and all that, to try to get to the pinion gear, because it was difficult to try to get that Allen key in here to unscrew the motor mount and stuff like that. In order to loosen that up and to adjust this just to change your pinion gear out. And they also made it easier to access your center diff. I mean, also the front and rear disc was already constructed to where you can access those easy as well. Other updates they did to this, as you guys saw when I was talking about in the unboxing, they did improve the steering, so I didn't see a lot of slop and stuff. Now, every car is going to have just a little bit of play, as you guys see here. Every car is going to have this little bit of play, you know, and that's just natural for it. But it's not as much play as it was before. So as I was driving the truck, it was a lot more stable and stuff with that as well. Get this light off for a second, so it's not glaring all over the place. So as far as durability wise, you guys know I only broke one part on this truck, and that was when I was at the skate park and I was jumping this truck, and I ended up breaking one of the lower shock shaft caps. So I broke that off, and that was just a $2 or $3 replace, and I had some extra ones in there as well. So I went ahead and replaced that, but nothing else. I know when they went to the version 2 of the Outcast, the shock shafts, the aluminum shafts that are actually in the shocks here, they did make those thicker so that those won't break off or anything, or those won't bend as easy with that. So I didn't have any other problems with that. I did blow one of my tires off the wheel. It actually didn't rip the tire, but it actually just blew off when I was doing some, it's not on video, but I was doing some self-riding and getting the truck to actually just flip over. I had to go fetch it when it flipped over once or twice. So I did end up doing that. And of course, there's going to be minor damage, as you guys can see there. Get this to scoot back just a little bit. minor damage here to the body. Of course, you're going to have some scrapes and scratches on it. Of course, with this being a stunt truck and stuff, you're going to see that. So you guys see some of the scrapes, scratches, and stuff in there. But it actually, to me, makes the body kind of stand out and look cool and stuff like that as well. So I've liked the way this performed, and I think that the extra money that you pay for this over the previous version, whether it's going to be this one or the other versions, is more than well worth it, because you're looking at, if you get that motor mount, that motor mount is going to cost you, I believe it's Hot Racing that sells it, about $38.99. And then to get the chassis brace and stuff, I think those are going to cost you $20, $30, $40 as well. So you're looking at about maybe, then they got some other things that they've done to this that you're going to have to do to get it to be compatible with this. But they've done other small modifications, and then of course adjusting the steering and stuff. So you're probably looking at about 100 or so, a little bit more of upgrades that you're going to have to do to it. And of course, also inside the body, I showed that in the unboxing. Get this off real quick. You guys see they have this bracer. So that does help too, because you guys saw at the skate park, I did jump, and then some of the stuff I didn't film, but I did land a lot on the body, and it didn't crack or break open. So that was good right there. And I actually did that on purpose. I did that because I wanted you guys to see how it ran stock out the box without any modifications, without trying to lower it or anything, so you can see the kind of performance that you get with this truck out the box. And everything has been fine with it. I'm going to, of course, make more videos of this as well. For me, this comes with a 12-tooth install, and then I think you get a 16 as a speed gear. About a 15 is going to be the sweet spot for me for all-around bashing, even on 6S. And it's going to have a lot of speed and power in it, which is going to bring me to my next point, which is going to be the radio. Now, the radio that is included with it, you guys see here, it is a Spectrum now, because Arrma is being shipped and stuff and owned through Horizon Hobbies, is the STX2. Now, this radio, I know that a lot of you guys saw in the unboxing, the receiver does have a cord to it where we're used to kind of the Spectrum radio and stuff. And it doesn't have the same feel as the Spectrum, but it does have one feature that I do like on, and that's going to be this throttle limiter right here, where you can go 50, 75, or 100%. So that was a good feature on it, but it doesn't feel as good as the Tactic radio to me. The Tactic radio, when they upgraded to this, or they actually had the Tactic radio in there, I think this is about the second or third, probably the third radio, the Tactic radio that they had in their cars. We actually liked that a lot. I mean, it had a wireless receiver and stuff in it, so maybe at some point in time they'll include that in their 8-scale cars and kits. I'm not sure. But I didn't have any issues with reception or anything like that. And this is the Tactic radio. So this is the radio on your right that comes with the versions 1 and 2 of the Outcast, and 1, 2, 3 of the previous versions of the Creighton and stuff as well. So you guys can see some of the differences in the way that they're constructed and the way that they are. This has foam on the steering. This does not. You see they're basically about the same height, but this is a little bit more bulkier than the Tactic radio. I just like the way the Tactic felt. It just felt better in the hand, and it didn't feel bad, like as far as response and stuff. I didn't see any difference when I was driving the truck and response time or anything, like when you turn it, like a half a second later the truck turns. So there wasn't any issues with the response time or anything. I think that we are just so used to the Tactic radio that when we saw this, we're like, oh man. So maybe in time they'll change this out, or maybe they won't. I don't know. But you guys can always get a Tactic radio, but a lot of guys who really go out and do a lot of stuff, they usually end up changing the radio out anyway. So if you buy one, you could just take the radio out and sell it for 40, 50 bucks or whatever and get some of your money back for it, because somebody's always looking for radios out there. So that's going to be some of my first thoughts on this, with no problems, no issues or anything like that, which I didn't expect there would be anything. I just didn't expect that, get this to straighten up a little bit. There we go. That Arrma could actually improve on a truck like this, but they did. So when they come out with the next version, I don't know what they're gonna do, guys. I mean, they're gonna make it levitate or hover and or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they'll change up the body style or something. So the thoughts on this would be the same, of course, for the Notorious. Notorious is built just like the Outcast. It just has a different body, and it's kind of painted on the outside, so that when you flip the truck, it does show kind of some wear and tear on it. No, the Outcast does not have that paint that's paint on the outside like the Notorious does. But they're gonna, or they probably have I think they were out of stock when I last looked on Tower and Horizon, that they were out of stock on the Notorious. So I could be mistaken, but they're basically the same truck. They're going to handle and perform the same, and there's been no problems or issues with this, which I didn't expect as well with this. So like I said, I'm going to be doing more videos of this. I will take it to the BMX track. I know you guys want to see that, and I'll get a little bit more crazier with it as well. And then of course I'll be doing a final review with this truck, and I'm thinking about getting some of those new Creighton tires and wheels and putting them on there to see how they look. So you guys let me know about that, what you think about that, if I should do that. So that's some of my thoughts on this, guys. Put some of your comments down below if you have one, or if you're going to get one, do some upgrades or updates to it, and let me know some of your thoughts on this as well. So as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching.